Hello everyone. Saturday, September 15th, 2018. Of course, I have not yet done my new comic book video for this week. I will be doing that tonight, but today you are going to get a bonus video. I had made mention of in a couple of videos that there was a challenge that was coming up, and I wanted to wait until I had a little bit more information and knowing when the certain things were going to come in. Well, back in late June and early July, it's the end of June, the first day of July, I was at the Amazing Con here in Las Vegas. I did a video on that with some of the books I picked up, and I met a viewer and his wife from Texas. And they came up to me and they said, "Hey, we love your videos. We love your grading, your grading rants and your grading skill." He says, "But I am a huge grading guy. I love grading companies. I think no one can do them as good as grading companies. That's why they're professionals. So I want to issue you a challenge." And he said, "You will always take challenges, you say in your videos, if something comes up." And I said I would. And I asked him what was his challenge. And he said he wanted to pay out of his pocket to have 10 books graded by the grading company of my choice. And then he would get all the mailing information as it relates to updates and whatever from CBCS, and they would use my address as the mailing address. With that being said, knowing that I would only get the books and I wouldn't know what the grades are until, the books arrived. Well, yesterday, the books arrived. Here they are. We're going to do an unboxing the best I can. This is the first time I've ever had books graded by a professional grading company. I do have a couple of graded books in my own collection, but as you know and I've stated in the past, those have been gifts from friends, and I have never paid money. I like my books to be raw. I like them to be unpressed and unclean because I believe one of the true joys to me of the comic book industry is the hunt for high-grade books that have not been graded. So I met with him. We had a nice conversation. I told him I would accept his challenge on one condition, that I was not going to send 10 books in because I'm not a grading comic book guy, and I don't want to see someone spend money, even if it's their own money, to get books graded for something that I don't have in my own collection. So I told him I will pick one Golden Age, one Silver Age, and one Bronze Age books. I'll bring them into the show. We'll sit down Sunday, we'll grade them together, and then we'll submit them. Because I've never done this, I didn't know how to do it. So he said, no, we'll take care of everything and we'll use your mailing address. All the other information will be my information. That way you don't know what's coming in. Now, this is a big deal for me because I have spoken in several videos of the difficulty of my grading. And so I was like, you know what, I'm going to send some books in. And the 3 books that I sent in, I wrote them down here, was a Batman 169. That is the second appearance of the Silver Age Penguin. I also believe it is the last 12-cent issue. Now, this book had sat in my shop for a while. It was a beautiful book. I had it in my shop as a very fine minus, a 7.5. So that's what I submitted that grade as, that I told him I think this book is going to come back at, is a 7.5. So he looked at the book, said, okay, I'll go with that. I think, that's a pretty solid grade, and we'll see what the company says. And the second book I sent in was a Bronze Age book, which was Weird War Tales number 27. This is not a fancy book. This is just a really cool book that I've always enjoyed. It is a skeleton on a submarine, has the German swastika World War II cover. Not an expensive book. I thought this book was a really nice 9.0. It had a little bit of spine issues, but it was non-color breaking issues. So I felt real comfortable with the 9.0 grade. So I said, I want to put this in as a 9.0. He looked at it, said, okay, that's what we'll chart it down. He wrote his numbers down. I wrote my numbers down. And then the last book I put in was a Golden Age crime suspense stories number 9, which is just I love all the crime suspense stories. Now, this is an old EC book. And if you know anything about EC, no matter how much eye appeal the book has, there's always going to be issues with it, whether it be tears at the staples. There's always going to be chipping. There's always going to be small tears because that's just the way these books come back. Now, I said this book would be a 3, 5, or 4. And even though it has beautiful eye appeal, I know that there were some issues with the book as it related to the tears and the small chipping and missing pieces. So I said a 3, 5, 4. He said, yeah, it's going to be hard to get books like that in a higher grade that look, without being like a file copy or something. So we submitted those books. And I waited. Now, this is a big thing for me because if these books come back a lot different than what I said they were as it relates to lower grades or worse grades, it's going to make me look like a clown, and all the things I say about grading people are just going to jump all over that. But if it comes back as a solid grade, you know, it'll just kind of reiterate the fact that there could be good graders out there that don't work for these grading companies. You just have to educate yourself and learn how to grade. So I'm kind of excited. My heart's beating a little bit because, again, this is my first ever grading unboxing. So here's the box. I'll try to do the best I can. So I'm going to open it up. Again, I don't know what these look like inside because I have never done a grading book. Okay, there's a ton of packing peanuts, as you can see here. These are the packing peanuts. You're going to kind of hold this so these peanuts don't go everywhere. Here's the books. I don't see an invoice or anything. So again, I don't know what comes in these boxes because I have never done an unboxing before because I've never sent books in to be graded. So I'm trying to keep this here as much as possible. So if I don't cut my face off doing this. I'm going to put this down real quick because they have this packed really, really well, which they should. Okay, here we go. Cover here. Here are the books. Here. Get this and put this over here and packing slip. So the first book we're going to look at, that's on just going top to bottom, is Weird War Tales number 27 from 1974. I said that I thought that this was going to be a solid 9.0, and the book came back 9.2 with white pages. And it doesn't say what the issues were because it's grader's notes. And again, I don't have access to the account, so I don't know if there's grader's notes or how they do that with this. Of course, this is, there's the cool cover right there with that. Sorry about the glare. 9.2 white pages. So I wanted a 9.0. It came back at 9.2, so a little stronger than I had hoped for, so I was good with that. There's the first one. The second book we're going to do is a Crime Suspense Stories number 9. I said I wanted to get a 3, 5, or 4 on this book. I thought that was good enough because even though the book looks really nice, there can be issues with the book inside because of the tears and things of that nature. And this book came back a 4.5. The thing I really like about this is if the pages are off-white. Now, this type of stuff here, I knew the page condition or the page color was really strong. I'm real happy with the off-white. I'm happy with the 4.5 because these books are hard to find in anything higher than a 3 sometimes without paying big money. So there's the front, there's the back. This, of course, is from 1952, and this is pre-code. So 4.5 right there. So happy with that. And the last book we had is the Silver Age Batman number 169. Like I stated, those of you who've been to my shop would see this in the shop. This was in the case. I had it listed as a very fine minus, a 7.5. I was hoping to have it come back a 7.5. This book came back an 8.5. There's the book right there. Really, really nice book. The page quality on this, they wrote down as off-white to white pages. So there is that right there. So overall, I'm very happy with the overall grading. Everything I graded right on, and it was higher from the grading companies. So that just kind of reiterated to me that the fact that I say that I do grade very difficult and I'm very honest with my grades was just, as far as I'm concerned, backed up by these grades that I got on these books. So again, I wanted a 7.5, which was I was selling it in the shop. Jeremy, if you're out there, you know you looked at that book a couple of times at a 7.5. It came back an 8.5. And then again, Crime Suspense Stories, I was hoping for a 3.54. It came back a 4.5. And Weird War Tales, I thought was a real solid 9 because I had a couple of little things on the spine that were non-color break. It came back a 9.2. So super happy. I can't say anything more about it. I was hoping that they would come back at least close to the to what I thought, and it wasn't going to come back really bad and make me look bad. Again, really pleased with this outcome. I want to thank the gentleman from Texas and his lovely wife for coming up with this idea for the challenge. I hope that now you understand that a person doesn't have to work for the big grading companies to get graded books. Again, these books were graded by CBCS because even though they were being paid for, I wasn't going to use CGC. I just wanted to try to, hopefully, get out there that my grading standards are tough. My grading standards are solid. And if I say a book is going to be a certain grade, you can bet yourself it's going to be that grade. So pretty much all we have for this video right now. I hope you liked the video, and I will do a comic book, new comic book video tonight. But I was real excited when I got this box yesterday, but I had to go to work, and I couldn't wait to open it because I couldn't wait to see what these grades were. So that's all for this video. So I hope you liked the video. But if you didn't, as always, nothing I can do for you. You don't have to be a CGC grading expert to grade books accurately and consistently. Have a great day.